Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to be creating with the April sketch from Stick It Down. I don't know if you guys have had an opportunity to head over to Stick It Down on Facebook and check out what all we do, but every month we have a single page sketch, a card sketch, and a double page sketch for you guys to play along with. And if you decide that you want to create a layout based on one of those sketches, you can upload to the corresponding album on Facebook, and you could potentially become a guest designer and design along beside us. I really hope to see you all over there. I'll make sure and leave a link in the description box below. So just come and check us out. We would love to have you. I also wanted to incorporate my old stash for this layout. So I started by pulling out some very old papers. These are circa 2009, I think. And they're quite old actually, but I love that I found this particular set of just different random papers that seem to work so well together. Actually, this vintage style isn't something that I do anymore, but I had the papers and I always really liked them. So I figured, why not? I'm probably not going to get rid of them, so I may as well use them. So that's what I'm doing with this layout. Now, as you can probably tell, I have changed the sketch up just a little bit. I kind of flipped it, and I've gone with one large banner that I'm putting three smaller photos on because I already had my photos printed, and those are the ones that I wanted to use. So I had to adapt the sketch to work for what I already had printed. Okay, here's the part that I kind of goofed on. When I originally pulled the papers out, I thought that that print piece was a full 12 by 12, but it wasn't. So I ended up just going back to my stash because I felt like I had more, but I found this one that was extremely similar. So I grabbed it and used it instead. I also had not pulled out any embellishments to use, so I decided to fussy cut this piece of paper. The butterflies, I would have never used the piece of paper without fussy cutting those butterflies out, and they coordinated so well with these other papers that it was just the perfect layout for them. I also really like this striped paper, and I wanted those colors in there, and I didn't think about it soon enough, so I'm just kind of gonna cut off pieces large enough to add to each side of the banner to make it look like one continuous piece. Not that it really matters whether it is or not, but I just didn't think about putting it down early enough in the process. I distressed the edges of the striped paper to match what I did with the banner, and so I wanted to make sure that I get them all lined up just perfectly, and that required the use of my T-square because without that it wasn't going to happen. So here I actually have another oopsie, and I am so excited to get that glued down that I forgot to distress the edges of that. But I recognized it immediately, so I just pulled it up and remedied the problem. It's actually pretty typical of me to goof up on almost every single layout. Now I have gone to my stash of alphas and pulled out some really old ones that I have never even used. I just went on the hunt for some small brown ones and something else that matched the layout. And I remembered that I did have these stickers that they have, you're not going to be able to tell, but they have a map print on them because I just want to pop up a couple of words in the title. So these were perfect for that. I'm actually really glad that I hung on to these or that I purchased them to begin with because I did not find a single other alpha in my layout, in my stash that I would have been happy with on this layout. And now I feel like I need to do more vintage travel pages so that I have a reason to use them all up. I wish I were more of a mini album scrapper. Actually, I said more of a, but I have never made a single mini album. They fascinate me, and I've always been intrigued by them, but I don't think I have the patience for it. It is all I can do to think through one 12 by 12 layout. It takes a lot of brain power for me for some reason. It is a time consuming process. This is such a simple layout, but when I tell you the extreme thought process that went into this, it's kind of crazy. My brain just doesn't work that well. I can't work a whole mini album in advance in my brain. So, single pages, it is for me. Okay, so here I am getting some butterflies glued down to the page, and I decided to stick with only three of them. Yeah, I knew I wouldn't use many of them, so I only cut out six to begin with, but these three are the ones that are the winners. They made it on the page, and the other three did not. So I decided that I needed to go back to my stash and see if I can find some embellishments. And the only thing that I found that I really liked, that I felt like coordinated well, were these older Prima leaves and this rose. I don't know how long I've had them, but I think this rose may be the last one that I have that came in that particular pack. So it felt really good to be able to use that up, and now something that I purchased a long time ago is all used up and I don't have to look at it floating around in my stash any further. Well, that's it. That wraps this layout up. I really appreciate you guys joining me today. And you should all hop on over to the Stick It Down Facebook page and check out the sketches that are coming up in April and jump in and join us. Also, please like and subscribe to my channel. I would be so grateful. I hope you all have a lovely crafty day. Bye bye.